Yeah, so let's go to 12 News journalist Joe Dana, who has more details now on what that could look like. Hey, Joe.
Hey, guys. Yeah, the man now tapped to lead the effort, former ICE director Tom Homan, has given mixed messages on how aggressively he would pursue immigrants here without documentation who have not committed crimes. And then there is the question of logistics. Now, officials who worked in the first Trump administration told NBC News you would likely need the Pentagon to help set up detention camps, the Interior Department to use federal land for deportation sites, Health and Human Services to oversee care and custody of families and children. They said those would be just a few of the agencies needed for mass deportations. However, Homan told Fox News that ICE alone would carry out, quote, humane targeted deportations. First on people who pose a threat to the public. Homan told 60 Minutes just before the election that suggestions there would be mass raids or detention camps are, quote, ridiculous. Though when pressed, he did say ICE would conduct worksite immigration raids, which would target anyone. And he said this at the Republican National Convention.
I got a message. As a guy who spent 34 years deporting illegal aliens, I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that Joe Biden's releasing our country in violation of federal law. You better start packing now.
During the first Trump administration, Homan led a 40% surge in deportation arrests and created policies to arrest immigrants at courthouses and detain pregnant women. He was also credited with a policy to separate migrant children from their parents at the border. Now, the former head of Customs and Border Protection, who personally knows Homan, said unlike other people Trump could have picked, Homan understands well the difficulties of launching a mass deportation effort and would likely be more realistic about what is possible. There's also the question here of how supply chains and labor forces would be impacted, especially here in Arizona, something the Trump administration will no doubt have to consider. The director of the Center for Migration Studies that advocates for immigrant rights says deportations of millions of people would be, quote, absurdly expensive, counterproductive, and profoundly cruel. Back to you guys.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, you think about the resources involved, and I talked to a couple of the candidates when they came in who were in favor of this, and I said, are you going to start tapping local police to do this? And if you're going to do that, you're going to go ask the chief for resources, and it'll be interesting to see how they either do this or try to do it, Joe.
And it's always a question of campaign promises versus what's actually realistic, right?
Exactly. Yeah, still in the speculation phase at this point. Joe, thank you for the report this afternoon. We do appreciate it.